And at bbcworldservice.com, it's Music Month.
I'm video game composer Olivier Doridier, joined by Dutch composer Laurie Thurman, American composer and producer Lena Rain, and shifting artist Shibga. We'll be talking about the use of AI in video game music, and how writing non-linear music has changed how we compose.
Hey, it's the world server, the world's radio station.
It's 5 o'clock in London. Hello and welcome to News Day on the BBC World Service with Alex Ritson and Scotland. Alongside me, there's Lisa in Brussels, from a former US ambassador to the Western Defense Alliance to state NATO countries have decided to show a united front against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. North Korea, Vladimir Putin's idea of this being a pickup in which the Russian soldiers would be led with flags and as liberators turned out to be a massive miscalculation. We'll get right with you, the latest military developments in Ukraine from the capital Kiev. Intercepted communications released by the Ukrainians, which seem to reveal how disillusioned many Russian troops are. Also, a day at home turned into a time of disappointment. Our correspondent reports from Afghanistan on a last-minute U-turn from the Taliban on allowing girls into secondary schools. All that more after the latest world news. Hello, I'm Chris Barron with the BBC News. As Russia's war in Ukraine enters its second month, President Volodymyr Zelensky has appealed to people worldwide to take to the streets today to show their support for his country. He said Moscow was threatening freedom everywhere. From Kiev, his lead to
A month ago, in the early hours of February 24th, President Zelensky spoke in Russian to the people of Russia, urging them to try to stop the invasion. He embarked then lives to. He said he had initiated a call to President Putin. He was met by silence. Now, in a speech marking 1 month, he's made a vow to appeal in English to people around the world. Show where you stand, he said. Go into your squares and streets with Ukrainian symbols. Make your voice heard to stop this war.
A Russian draft resolution on Ukraine has failed at the United Nations Security Council, with only Russia and China voting in favour. All 13 other members abstained. The draft called for the passage of aid and the protection of civilians. Linda Thomas Greenfield is the United States ambassador to the UN.
Russia is trying to make this council complicit in its flimsy fabrications by putting forward a resolution that makes no mention of its role as the sole cause of this crisis. And our vote will show that we will play no part in that.
In its latest assessment of the fighting in Ukraine, the US military says Russian troops have been pushed into defensive positions around Kyiv. According to the Pentagon, they've been thrust back 50 kilometers from the east of the city. The senior US official said Russia appears to be focusing its efforts in the Donbass region. The conflict in Ukraine has prompted the biggest movement of refugees in Europe since the Second World War. Poland has accepted more than 2 million and has begun issuing them with registration numbers so they can access services and get jobs. Mark Lowen reports from the Poland-Ukraine border, where he's been since the war began. At the start of the invasion, we watched as troops drove the immediate huge rush to escape. But those now coming to places like this, slaves have fitted out, hoping the bombs would stop. Amy actually Lenkov says she just wants it to end. We had to leave, she says. Children were being killed and teenage girls raped. More than 3.5 million have fled, around 60% of them to Poland, which is now the world's second largest host of refugees. The new arrivals are being given social security numbers and places of study. And that sense of permanence may in time bring challenges and tensions, depending on how long it goes on. Mark Lowen. And this is Chris Barrow with the latest world news and the BBC. Egypt has asked for help from the IMF as the government struggles to deal with the impact of the war in Ukraine. As the world's biggest importer of wheat, Egypt relies heavily on grain from Ukraine and Russia. The tourism sector has also suffered a further setback after 2 years of problems linked to the pandemic. Earlier this week, the government in Cairo allowed the currency to devalue. In other news, President Biden has led tributes to Madeleine Albright, the first woman to serve as U.S. Secretary of State, who died at the age of 84. He called her a force who'd turned the tide of history. Eastern European leaders remembered her as a champion of NATO enlargement. The United Nations, where she served as U.S. ambassador in the 1990s, held a minute's silence. The Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, has used a meeting with Britain's Prince William and his wife Catherine to outline the island's ambitions to become a republic. The royal couple are making a week-long tour of former British colonies. Mr. Holness told them there were unresolved issues in Jamaica, where Queen Elizabeth remained head of state, and that their presence enabled such topics to be front and centre. South Korea's former president, Park Geun-hye, is heading home for the first time since she was jailed for corruption 4 years ago. She was pardoned in December, but had been in hospital suffering from an undisclosed illness. Security has been stepped up at her new residence in the south of the country. She smiled as she left hospital, saying she felt much better. So that's the latest BBC news. Thank you for all that news. Welcome to the update from the BBC World Service with James and Alex. We'll have plenty on Ukraine in the programme, the systematic manoeuvring at the NATO summit in Brussels, and a developing military picture on the ground. We'll also find out about the dismay of many girls in Afghanistan after Taliban U-turn stopped them going to school. And we'll hear about the impact of Madeleine Albright, the first woman to become US Secretary of State, who has passed. Remember, you can send a text message on anything you hear. Our number is +44 7786 20 85. We start with the latest on Ukraine, a day when the US President Joe Biden and NATO chiefs are set to meet in Brussels for an emergency summit on the crisis. It's a month since the Russian invasion, and yesterday President Volodymyr Zelensky, speaking in part of English for the first time during his daily address, asked the world to protest on his peace, not just for Ukraine, but for freedom.
I thank everyone in support of Ukraine, in support of freedom, but the war continues. Soon your spending come from your offices, your homes, your schools and universities. Come in the name of peace. Come with Ukrainian symbols to support Ukraine, to support freedom, to support life. Come to your squares, your streets, make yourselves visible and strong. Say that people matter, freedom matters, peace matters, Ukraine matters. From March 24th in downtowns and small cities, all as one together for one to stop the war.
Ukraine's President Zelensky there, while leaders from the US Defence Alliance NATO are gathering to discuss Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and they've already said that NATO will increase its forces deployed to Eastern Europe, specifically to Slovakia, Hungary, Bulgaria and Romania. So what sort of signal is NATO sending there? For assessment, I spoke to Ivor Dalbert, former US ambassador to NATO.
Well, it's sending signals to two different parties. First of all, of course, to the NATO members in the East that the alliance stands squarely behind them and will defend their territory. And the saying goes, every inch of NATO territory with real capability. So having more troops on the territories of these countries should reassure them. But secondly, and importantly, it's also sending a message to Moscow to say that whatever is happening in Ukraine, there's a very bright red line when it comes to NATO territory. It will be defended, and the very like the best.
You think that if President Putin took that sort of step, chemical and nuclear weapons, NATO might go further, might send troops, might shoot down Russian aircraft?
Well, as Jeff Stoltenberg said yesterday, if that were to happen, the strategic context and calculation would change. And under those circumstances, what not possible today might be something possible tomorrow. Of course, I think part of sending that message is to tell Vladimir Putin that it's advisable not to contemplate such an escalation. But if it were to occur, then new options are on the table, supporting Ukraine directly.
Ukraine, of course, is not a member of NATO, and the whole strategic calculus would have been very, very different had it been a member. Do you think when Ukrainians say we want more from NATO, more weapons, faster, and more support, you they have a point?
I think so. I mean, clearly, had they been a member of NATO, this war would not have occurred. Surely the people in the Baltic states and in Poland and Romania are looking at what's happening in Ukraine and say, thank God that we made it into NATO. And so there is a question of how much support is now necessary to give to the Ukrainians, where in many ways are standing in the way of the Russians and the friendly treaty with their lines over there. So that's why I think it is perfectly reasonable for Ukrainians to expect as much support as they possibly can, and for NATO countries to continue to provide as much of the equipment and capabilities for the Ukrainians to be able to protect themselves.
Where does this end, this whole conflict? How does it end?
Well, it's clear that Vladimir Putin's idea of this being a cakewalk in which the Russian soldiers would be met with flags and liberators turned out to be a massive miscalculation. This idea that the West would be divided and not react forcefully has been another massive miscalculation. And the question is, at what point is either he or the people around him going to conclude that perhaps this war was a massive miscalculation, and that we need to go back to a situation in which Russia can recoup some of the losses that have been inflicted. But that's, I think, a decision that will happen in Moscow among the powers that be rather than on the battlefield.
The thoughts are either Galvin from the US ambassador to NATO. Officials in Kyiv, while so Russia is also destroyed the Kyiv bridge over the Deva River, cutting off a vital link between the Indian city of Kyiv and the Ukrainian capital. The bridge had been crucial for aid to Kyiv and an important route out for the civilians through Russian shelling. On the outskirts of Kyiv, there's also been further heavy artillery with Ukrainian forces making counterattacks. Let's get the latest outside Kyiv and speak to Katerina Sagatskova, editor-in-chief at the independent media outlet Zavarona Media. Thank you for joining us on Tuesday. Katerina, what is the latest from the capital?
I'm not confused right now. I can tell you what I know from my sources on the ground, and I can tell that the shows continue every day. People on Ukraine hearing accounts of explosions. Many people dying every day because of the shows from Russia. I've been working to from even more people, as you probably know. Because 300,000 people are trapped in the city, in the shelling, and they can't leave the city because of the constant bombing. And the worst thing is horrible is that we still don't know what happened to 1,300 people who were under trauma seconds. They remained there for more than a week. And people
That was a bomb shelter. Would it have been stocked with enough food to keep them going for this length of time, do you know?
We don't have any details about that. So probably they have something, but maybe not for the week. I don't know. So actually, the thing that we know that nobody can help them right now. So they just trapped there under rubble.
No one can help them.
Yes.
There are people trying to get to that. There must
Some people say, that's right, but they were near the exit, so they could manage to go outside by themselves. And most of the people were either like more difficult places. We still don't know where they are.
Can I ask you one more other question? And that is, again, it's just NATO summits of Brussels, Joe Biden's, but what is it that the people that Ukraine want to see come out of that summit?
I think most of Ukrainians want to close the fight. Because that's why people don't even from cities. That's why they were hiding in bomb shelters and dying from the rockets.
All the concerns of that might escalate it. The people of Ukraine in all be want to mobilise a force gravity.
Yes, of course, that's what we really want.
Katerina Sugotska, editor-in-chief at Berliner Media. Thank you.
You've just been to the UK on the BBC World Service with Alex and Jay. As you've been hearing on the programme, there is significant NATO summit, Western Central Alliance leaders, including US President Joe Biden, gathering